Alright, so we're just going to go through and put the bottom half of the timing cover and all that stuff together. I don't think there should be any reason why not. We have to be able to run the engine in order to do the injection pump timing anyways. And I don't think it'd be very smart to run it without the engine mount, so we're going to slap the lower cover back on, and the should be able to do the engine mount, and then the Serpentine tensioner and the crank harmonic balancer, and I'll read off torque values as we go through that. So first thing is the lower metal timing cover. So 7 foot-pounds is our torque for the cover fasteners, and 7 times 12 is 84. And then we can put the crank harmonic balancer on, I think. Okay, so I've put some anti-seize. You don't want to let it reach here, because then it's on the timing belt. And I think this one bigger hole is supposed to be the one that goes over the dowel on the sprocket, so that's what I'm going to do. Based on the size of the ring around it, that looks about right. That. And then we can put the cap screws in. Foot-pounds for our harmonic balancer. So what do we got? 10 18s is 180, and another 36 is 216. 180 plus 20 is 200, and there should be 16 left over, so 216. So we'll go 100 first, I guess. 100 inch-pounds. It is inch. Oops. Okay, yeah. 100 inch-pounds first. So, I guess power steering pump, which I noticed the power steering shaft seal is leaking, I think. Power steering pump pulley should be the next thing, I think. Power steering pump pulley, and then Serpentine tensioner, and then Serpentine belt. Now, should we do... I can't remember what order I took them apart in. Whether we should do engine mount first, maybe? Or whether we should do belt first. Probably a heck of a lot easier to work with the belt tensioner and everything without the engine mount in there. I think I definitely did the Serpentine first the first time, so let's put the engine mount back on first, I guess. Alright, so let's get this nasty chunk of engine mount casting installed here. I don't remember what crazy maneuvers I had to do to get it in or out of here, but let's see what I can figure out. Do not remember what I did to get it in or out of here, because it don't fit. Maybe I took the engine mount up, or engine itself up as high as it would go. That would probably do it. That should be a little better, maybe. Get out of here. Okay, I don't know. Still don't know how I got this in or out of here. Ah, like this. I think. We're almost there. Don't go in, of course. Why will it not go in? Nobody knows. What a miserable bugger. It doesn't fit. I don't know how I was able to get it out so easily, but I can't get it back in. Because it's stupid. Horrible. Miserable piece of crap. Absolutely miserable. So good. Okay, let's try again. Now. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's try for the long one first, I guess. Alright. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try. I'm going to get anti-seize everywhere. It'll be literally, quite literally everywhere. Now, what size were those? 17 or 19 or 18? Probably 18 because I feel like being different. No idea if we're in the right place. So those let's try that again. All three of those are 33 foot-pounds each. So let's do that bottom one while it's more easily accessible. Okay, so that is the mount to the block looked after. So then the next challenge is actually what I think I'm going to do here, just to keep the dirt out of it, is put the upper cover on so that the dirt that I'm about to blow doesn't go into the nice fresh timing belt, which can't have any dirt in it. Let's see what I'm doing. Ooh. Bad sound. Bad sound. Let's just do that for now. That seals up our timing to some degree, so that then I can do this. Alright, that's why cars rot. All that junk in there that shouldn't be there. Stop it. Shh. Quiet. Okay, now that we've made a thorough mess, so this huge conglomerate of a engine mount here. Okay. I don't even remember how I got this out of here. I guess like that. So I need to lower the engine first. That. And that should let us put this mount in place. I think it's not supposed to be buried in there. What's going on? Okay. There we go. So for that one we'll use the little torque wrench. Let's do the big ones first, which are supposed to be stretch bolts, of course, or are stretch bolts, and they're supposed to be replaced. It's supposed to be 30 foot-pounds plus a quarter turn or 90 degrees. So let's try for between 40 and 50 on those ones. And I guess what we'll do is just use the big torque wrench and an adapter, question mark? Because I don't have any long half-inch extensions out here. Okay, that's good for those. And then we use the, so that was 45, we use the little torque wrench for the 13 mil cap screws. And we'll do 18 foot-pounds, which is our 216, so let's do 100 first. Okay, alright, so now I think we're ready to actually try and line up the engine, which we're actually pretty close already. Up. Should be enough. What shape are our cap screws in? Crusty at best. Alright, and then those ones are also stretch bolts, of course. So they're supposed to be 44 foot-pounds plus a quarter turn, but they're already stretched, so we're going to aim for around 60. Probably don't need that, but we're going to need this. And those are bigger though, aren't they? They would be, wouldn't they? Maybe I can use half-inch drive in this case, actually. I think those are maybe 19? 19 or 18? 18. 18 extension. Yeah. Alright, so we'll do 30 first. Alright, so time to get the power steering pump pulley back on, and then our new Serpentine belt tensioner, and then the belt. I believe the belt that was on there, is still in great shape, no cracking showing yet, so I'll just put it back on for now. I do have a new one if and when we need it. The other thing though is the power steering pump is leaking out of the shaft seal. It's all over the back of the pulley, a little bit of oil, and then all the dirt stuck to it. So I will probably just look for a new power steering pump and change that over another point. It's not too bad to change it, other than just making sure the power steering system bleeds. But for now, we'll put it back together as is, clean up the pulley, put the pulley on, and the torque for these 3 cap screws that hold the pulley on are 18 inch-pounds. So we'll use the small torque wrench again and button that up quick here, and then move on to the tensioner. Alright, so that's the power steering pump installed and torqued. Didn't want to torque up as nicely as it should have. To me, 18 foot-pounds is way too much for what that is. So I had to do it in a bunch of stages, is what you saw there. But it's all good now, up to the 18 foot-pounds, or 216 inch-pounds is what I used. So then we should be good to install the Serpentine tensioner. Got a nice brand new one here. Bearing actually doesn't continue to spin and doesn't make any noise, and brand new vibration dampener strut on it as well. I'm not sure why that's sticking out there. Oh, I think you're supposed to take that out. think that's holding the tensioner in a closed position right now. That's a little bit odd. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... Interesting. As long as there's going to be room to get it out once the tensioner's in there, which I don't know about that. Goes that way. So we maybe better take that out first, so I'll just manhandle it to get that pin out. I don't think I can do it with one hand on camera here. Oh yeah, no. I might not even be able to do it at all without mounting it first. So maybe we'll have to do that. But anyways, we got new tensioner, and I've got the bolts cleaned up, and we'll anti-seize them as well. And get this on, and then we can put the Serpentine belt back on and wrap up some more of the stuff over here, the coolant reservoir and the power steering reservoir and stuff like that. And then move on to the back side of the engine where we have a lot of work to do yet. Oh, and the torques for the Serpentine tensioner here. Tensioner are also 18 foot-pounds each, which, if you think about that, that's ridiculous for the power steering pump pulley to be 18 foot-pounds, and then the tensioner, which the bolts are much larger, to also be 18 foot-pounds. But anyways, that's what it says. So we'll whip that on and keep plugging away. Before we go any further here, I've just got 2 bolts in the tensioner, just kind of barely snug, to make sure we can actually get the positioning pin for packaging out of there before we bother putting the last one in or torquing anything, because if we can't, then that's a bit of a problem. Which way is this going to want to go now? That's pretty snug. Come on, there we go. It's got to go which way? The other way. Come on. What a miserable bugger that is. How can you design something that you can't frickin' get out of the mount without having the thing mounted so you can actually hold it? Unreal. Unreal. There we go. Miserable. Okay, there's the little pin that holds the tensioner in place for this is going to be not fun for wow, is it going to stop at any point? No, of course not. Meanwhile, we're breaking the friggin' I'm gonna have to let this go in a second, and it's not going to be pretty. Brutal. Unreal. That is ridiculous. I don't know how you're ever supposed to do that. You can't get a frickin' swing in on it. Anyway, another stupid design. So now with the, I guess I better release the tension on this before we can put the last bolt in and torque it. But so you can fit the pin out in the car. It's just not the easiest thing. So let's get the rest of this assembled here. Now if you're watching this right after the disassembly of this, you're going to be saying, well, you did them in the other order because you couldn't get to the third bolt that holds the tensioner on. So I don't understand how I was able to do what I just did here, because I'm pretty sure that usually the edge of the power steering pulley is partway across the head of that third bolt that I just installed by hand. And somehow the socket does fit past the pulley and it's not rubbing, so I can still torque it. So I don't understand how that works. So don't ask me in the comments, I don't know. Either the tensioner is a little bit different, although the holes in the block are the same, or there was really more space the first time around than I thought there was. So it looks like, at least for this one, I don't remember exactly what it looked like before, but it looks like for this one it's no problem to install the power steering pulley first if you want, or to not touch it at all. You don't really need to touch it at all to do the timing belt job if you can get the tensioner out of the way without. So it really comes down to your choice. It's not a big deal to take the power steering pulley off, and it's not a bad idea to clean up the hub and the bolts and everything so that when you need to take it off later, you'll actually be able to get it off easily with hand tools. So I guess that first bolt I tried to torque, the long one here, is stripped, which is just friggin' fantastic, exactly what I wanted. I don't know how you ever do that, but it never gets any tighter, so I don't know what I'm doing with that. I don't think you can get to the back of it to put a nut on it or anything, which is just awesome. Exactly what I need right now. I don't think you can get to the back of it at all. So I guess let's pull it back out and see if the threads are full of aluminum, which is probably the case. I'm pretty sure when I took it apart, and when I was cleaning up the bolt, cleaning up the threads, there was some aluminum thread pieces in the bolt. So that is really helpful. Yeah, so I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but there we go. So in that section that looks like it doesn't have any anti-seize, quit doing that, is a bunch of crumbs of aluminum. So there's no threads left in the casting mounting chunk of the power steering bracket there. So that's awesome. I'm not sure what we're doing with that. I don't know that I like the idea of running the tensioner with only 2 bolts holding it, but might not have any choice for now. So we're just going to go ahead with 2 cap screws for now. The big bolt isn't doing anything, and there's no point in leaving it in there, and there's no quick or easy way to fix that right now. One option would be to completely remove that whole mounting bracket that I believe is everything here: injection pump, power steering, alternator, AC, all one chunk of cast aluminum. If you could get to the back, you could maybe put a nut on it, but I don't think you can do that without taking the alternator off underneath. And so then the third option is to either put a Healy coil in it and or drill and tap it out to a larger bolt size and get a different bolt for it. But for now, I can't do any of those time-wise, so we're going to run it with 2. We do have another car that's running the same way, because once again, one of the bolts is stripped. And in that case, it's not even from somebody over torquing it, it's just from it having been in and out so many times, I guess. Aluminum threads don't last. It's a terrible idea to put a steel bolt in an aluminum thread if you want to actually have any longevity out of it. So we're going to go ahead with 2 for now. We're going to put the 2 that we've got up to the 18 foot-pounds, assuming that they'll actually tighten. I've got them about halfway right now, so we'll finish up that. So I don't think we're even going to get to the 18 on these other 2, because they're not tightening up very well either. I'm at 160 inch-pounds, which is somewhere between 9 and 18 foot-pounds without doing the math. So I'll bump it up a little more here and see what I can get, but it's not looking good. That's 175 inch-pounds. There's 190. There's 205 maybe. 205, that's as far as we dare go, I think. There's no point in stripping those two out, then we can't put it back together and run it at all. And yeah, when I do the power steering pump, I guess have to figure out what to do with the threads. Either try and put Healy coils in them for all three, I guess, or drill and tap them out to the next size up and put a little bit bigger bolts in them. But that will also likely mean, well, might mean drilling out the tensioner casting, but it won't be by much because I think they're a little bit oversized, those holes, to begin with. So I think that's it for accessory drive. The harmonic balancer we torqued a while ago, the power steering pump pulley is torqued. The tensioner is torqued as much as it's going to get. So I guess we'll put the old belt back on for now, and then we can finally move on to the intake and stuff.